Would you like to talk about college? Would you like to talk about design? Would you like to talk about marriage? Would you like to talk about business or money?
I don't care.
Do you think it was worth going to college for you?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
Tell everybody what your college experience was. Where did you go to school? What were your degrees? How long? How much did it cost?
How much did it cost?
You could just talk about the second part.
Okay,
when
say
we
it
came
again.
in picture. Where did you go to college? What are your degrees in? And are you glad you went?
Okay, I went to college at Azusa Pacific for 2 years, and then I took a break to transfer to Point Loma, and then I was a nanny in Germany for 3 months. And then I finished at Point Loma, and I got a degree in business because I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I wanted to do something feminine, and I knew I needed to know how to run the business. So I took a concentration in entrepreneurship and real estate. That's what was cracking me up about when you went into what you're doing, because I actually kind of had an idea of what you were talking about. I was like, I think I actually know what you're talking about. Because we had a real estate entrepreneur who was our teacher, and he said, if you want to get the real estate test, go do that online. But if you want to know how to do real estate for investment purposes, I'm going to teach you all of this. And he would bring in all of his friends, and they would teach us how to buy like a 4-unit apartment, roll it into a 16, roll it in.
Well, he's a massive real estate investor. It wasn't just like a small, he was huge.
George Fermanian. And his son was in my class. They were great.
Yeah.
So once I did that, then I moved home, and I did a bunch of internships there for the business school, because I thought maybe I wanted to do event planning, so I would put on their business events that they had every year. And then I got a job once I got home, moved home because I started dating you.
She couldn't say no.
Wasn't planning on moving back.
I had that
ever.
charm. Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
So then
She was a hard no on moving back until
was.
she started dating me.
I thought I was finally out of the bubble. Could go to San Diego.
Tell me no, and I'm going to find a way to get to yes.
I thought I was going to meet somebody, go home to see his parents, like this whole Hallmark movie experience.
She married the guy next door.
Yeah, I didn't get any of that.
So you come home, we start dating. You're now working at, what was the kitchen place?
No, I worked at Anthropology.
That's right.
Best time of
That's
my life.
right. That's right. You
So much fun.
You started working at Anthro.
Yeah.
And
then I guessed what I might like to do, and it was kitchens, because to me an interior designer seemed like you had to be super artistic, as in you had to be a painter, and I just wasn't that. I was more, I don't know, logical, and I loved Tetris, so I liked the boxes that you would put together to build a kitchen. You know, it was pretty much Tetris. So I got a job at a kitchen and bath place just to see if I liked it. And then when I was there, I said, I love this, but I want to do more than just kitchens. So can I go to FITM, boyfriend?
we weren't married back then.
No, and you were going to have to pay for my loans.
That's
so
right.
If I didn't make money, it was going to be on you.
That's right. And so you went to FITM.
I went to FITM. So for Point Loma, my parents paid for it. And I don't even know how much it was. $150,000?
Jeez, okay.
Was it? I don't know.
I don't know. I never went to school.
15 grand a semester, I want to say. Does that
15 a semester?
Yeah.
That's a
and
lot.
then, so what did I just say?
Going into FITM, you said your parents paid for the first part.
So my parents had already paid for college, so I felt really guilty having to do more college. I knew that my parents had paid for it. I didn't really have an understanding of money at all. My dad kept trying to teach me about money. It didn't really go well. And so then I just felt like, well, I already have a degree. Why should I go back for more school? But I knew this is what I loved, and I was going back at 25. So I was way more motivated.
You knew what you wanted to do this time.
Yeah, so to me it felt more of a trade school.
Do you remember what I said to you when you said, can I do this and this is probably going to become your loan? Do you remember what I said?
You said sure.
Was that it?
Yeah. Well, it was $32,000.
Right.
And I think you knew, like, I truly was passionate about it.
Right.
And they had an accelerated program because I already had a degree, so it was a year program, concentrated. And so I was able to do it. I got to do a custom chair, so it put me there a little bit longer. It was great. I loved it, though.
Okay, so then you leave FITM. Then you started working at...
3 different internships.
You
So
took
I
3.
loved my internships
Yeah.
because one internship, she was old school. She had her hand drafting. She was working with Middle Eastern Middle Eastern royalty. So
I remember that.
very, very interesting projects. Some were super, super traditional for like the parents. Some for the younger newlyweds, they were super modern homes. I just got to see a lot. She lived in Beverly Hills. And then when it came to getting a new internship, I loved what I got there, but I knew I needed to move on because my time was so limited. And that's how I view college as this perfect opportunity to get as many internships as you can. And so even though I was only there a short time, I saw how it worked, and I had to just do the polar opposite. So that was a designer who was super high-end, modern, everything was high-tech. I never had seen how to do a presentation, just like a physical mood board we would do digitally, and just how to lay it all out in Illustrator.
When did you learn CAD? Was that FITM that you learned CAD?
Yeah, I did AutoCAD, Photoshop, Illustrator at FITM. Loved it. I had so much fun. It was so fun going to college older.
Mm-hmm.
And you just had more intention. And I went straight to the career office, pretty much the first week, and said, "Hey, this is what I'm interested. I want internships." And they loved it because I was motivated, I was mature, and they actually gave me my first design job.
I remember that.
Yeah, so there was a beauty company that had reached out to them asking for an interior designer. They made products, skincare products.
Mm-hmm. This is the office space you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right down across from Staples Center.
Mm-hmm.
What is it now?
What is it now? Is it still crypto.com? Okay, so what's the kitchen company? Why am I blanking on the name? Showcase. When did you start working at Showcase? After the internships, before you started your own business? Or no, you worked for...
You're going backwards.
You worked for Showcase first, then you decided that you were interested,
I got a job
then you went to school.
in the industry to see
Okay.
if I liked the industry.
That's right.
Loved it,
That's
but
right.
but I only had a limited amount of knowledge.
That's
so
right.
then I went back to get the full degree.
That's right.
So I could do more than just kitchens. And then I went to FITM.
That's right.
Got my first client off that, and then I got some clients back here. And I loved my clients because it was such a great friendship. I mean, doing interior design is a very intimate job because you know you know how they live. Like
Right.
they have to be open with you to tell you this is how I live and I need you to accommodate that. So they became my friends, and then one client just kept buying homes, and so I got to do more and more of her projects.
And you did
Like
Sean's
that.
place in Kansas.
Yeah, that was fun to do from here. I'd never done one far. And then I got to fly into Kansas a little early for one of your contests and go shopping for accessories with his mom. We had the best time ever.
Yeah. And then you did P. Rod's Park.
Yeah.
Okay, so then when we had Amelia, you decided you wanted to step away.
Which was really hard because I had done so many amazing projects, and this one, she and I had such similar taste, where she also worked at Anthropologie. And so I got to do like whatever. It was almost like it was my house. Like, what would you do with your own house? And it was a really interesting remodeling project where they were just going to replace what the builder already had in her house with as far as cabinetry. And I walked in and went, wait a minute, what if we open up this wall? And what if we add this? And what if we make this one look like a furniture piece? And what if we add a banquette here? And so I got to really use my expertise, and I loved it.
Okay, so you took a hiatus. There's been a lot of people.
I ordered one thing wrong.
You ordered one thing wrong?
Yeah, for a client.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. That's right.
So I ordered bar stools,
That's
height
right.
or counter height, and height or counter height.
Yeah.
I accidentally ordered them incorrect and had to send them to our house
That's
from
right.
Washington down
That's
to us,
right.
and we used them for like 5 years.
That's right.
And I realized that could have been a $10,000 sofa that I would have had to eat. So I knew my business was at a point where I either had to pursue that and build more into that business and step away from like family life, or I could choose to stay home, support you because you were all over the place, and just I knew I never would get this time back with my kids, but I could always do design later. Am I supposed to do that?
Okay. So you knew you'd never get that time back with your kids. So you're on a hiatus. Everybody's trying to get you back over the last, how long has it been now? 8 years. And you decide that you're going to come help our office. We got you back. So I have 2 questions to finish this up.
Okay.
One, how's it working with me? And do you think we ever have the potential of doing a business together?
Good question.
I'll start with that.
I really like doing design projects. Well, it's not just you, it's just for our family. I like doing design projects where I can come home at the end of the night and ask the owner, the decision maker, the budget maker, questions, and not have to have such a formal meeting. I think working with interior design clients, it's pretty tricky. I mean, you're working with a contractor, you're working with a husband, you're working with a wife, and everyone has a different idea of how things are going to go. And so to me, that part takes a lot of mental strength. And I just don't have that right now with the kids. So to be able to ask you questions and just say yes or no.
I came home the other night and you said, can you look at this real quick? And then we looked over it.
And I get immediate answers, so it's way easier. It's also nice that I can bring the kids sometimes. Like yesterday, all the plants are being delivered. We've got Viv walking all over. She was hilarious in the pots playing peekaboo. So that part has been great. Working with you, I think you and I have very complementing skill sets.
Yeah, what's one of my weaknesses?
What?
I'm asking. What's one of the weaknesses that you see of mine when it comes to working with me that you compliment?
Well, you're got a lot going on in this brain. You're not detail oriented at all.
Yeah, that's true. I have to surround myself with people that are very, was it meticulous is the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah, very detail oriented, right? Which you are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so then last question. If you could go back, would you go to school? Would you have taken the same path that you took going to school and then going to school again, knowing what you know now?
This one's hard for me to answer only because I was young when I graduated. I was 17. And so I really do think I needed that extra year just for maturity. I went to a private school from kinder all the way through 12th. I graduated with 11 people. So I really needed some time to adjust to the world, which is why I wanted to go to a Christian school. I felt safe there. That was what was familiar to me. And then I could experience the world. And so I needed that time to mature. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what the solution as far as the education part was. I feel like I had just learned all that in high school, and it was a little more focused on different attributes as far as liberal arts and just your general first 2 years. But the schooling where I was really interested in the business classes, that part was fascinated. Okay, I hated accounting, but it was good to know what accounting is and how it works. So I really do appreciate my college, but this leads to such a bigger question because I really do love being a stay-at-home mom. If there was a possibility to do a small trade school to go on that path, I totally think that would have been great, because if I had graduated, my parents stuck me with that bill of $150,000. I don't think mentally I could have ever overcome that, because watching interest accrue as fast as it does, I think it would have been debilitating. And I think I would have had this pressure right out the gate instead of feeling like I'm ready to take on the world. And so FITM, I felt like was totally worth the value. Point Loma, the education I got at that time, I think was totally worth the value. I could not have graduated with that weight on my shoulders. Is that a good answer?
Yeah, I guess the quick finish up is, are you going to push our kids to go to school?
Elliot, I don't know well enough. He's a guy. I mean, he's going to be a man. So to me, that's different. But women, there's something I'm finding about truly embracing being a stay-at-home mom and supporting my husband that I'm finding a lot of joy in. And I love that the girls are with me to see what that is, because if I were a kid, I would have loved just being I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. I loved that role so much that I don't know I would have had the pressure put on me to say that you have to get a job and do all these things. Remember when I asked you if I could just be a stay-at-home wife?
Yeah. Right when we started dating. No, right when we got married. Right?
I was like, why do I have to get a job? Why can't I just be a stay-at-home wife and wait for the babies to come?
Yeah, I remember that. That's right.
Because to me, there's something really fulfilling about that. And I think if I could have done that and then later gone into a trade school of some sort to get interior design degree and do that if I wanted to, that would have been a great path. But I don't know what the solution is as far as, you know, going into some type of school to give you time to mature.
Yeah, I think what I really liked that what you said was, by the time you went to FITM, you were older, you knew what you wanted. I'm looking for this, and this. It's almost like when you're dating and you start getting older and your dates are with the intention to get married, and you skip through all the bull crap. It's like, what do you want out of life? Let's stop wasting time and let's get at it.
Yeah.
It's why I think it's like really good for kids to. I think a gap year is huge, or just taking a break, getting internships.
Intentional gap year.
Right.
Because what I loved about being in college is that you can get internships. Like, hey, I'm a student. Do you have an internship for me?
Right.
And they're essentially paying you to get an education. I loved internships to see just how things work and just get a sense of business in general. I think business degrees, I think business knowledge, no matter what industry you're in, is the best thing you can have. Because if you're an artist, you want to be able to sell your art.
Right.
And you don't have to do it forever. You just, to get started, you need to be a little bit profitable so that you can get someone to come in and manage it so that you can truly focus on your art. But you still don't want to get screwed over, so you have to know the business a little bit.
Right.
So I don't think I can't go back and say I would have changed anything, because for the time I had with my parents offering to pay, I think it was a huge gift. And I think it served me well. But if I had to pay for it, absolutely not. I would have been the stay-at-home mom. And I don't think I'm going to push the girls. Just I see how creative both of our girls are in different ways. Amelia would like to be a food critic. I had to explain to her, like, if you're a food critic, that means you're a really phenomenal chef, and then you get to be the critic. And she goes, yeah, never mind. And then Scarlett, I could see her doing something with fashion, with, I don't know, fashion or...
Something creative.
Something creative. Yeah. I mean, the way she can take anything that's around and make a little world out of it, super inventive.
Right, that's right.
So as far as Elliot, I feel like it gets different when I start talking about him. And Viv,
we don't know. She's a movie star.
She's going to keep us on our toes.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. That was Jen Taylor. Now she's off to go grab the
kiddos.
Yep. All right. Thanks, babe.
Yeah.